the green bracket, featuring our number 2 seed and our reigning and defending 3-time CTM winner, Pixel Andy, also a Challengers winner, taking on DMJ. And then the other match will have Sidnev, a former finalist, and Eric, a former winner, do battle. And out of these 4 players, one will advance to the semifinals. Currently our bracket looking like this. Fractal yesterday being our first semifinalist, winning the red bracket over Alex T. And then later on last evening, we had the classic matchup between Hufflepuff and Cheese, where Huff was victorious. And our number 1 seed making it to the semis. We have 2 more semifinal spots available here, and one of them will be given away. We'll be live in a few minutes. That's good. We can stall. And of course, later today as well, I believe hosted by, I actually don't know if it's public, but it's someone I'm very excited for to be hosting. Gonna be hosting the blue bracket, so I definitely implore you to watch that. That's gonna be in about like 4 hours from now, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna check. No, 5 hours from now. So about 5 hours from now, Masters Blue, featuring Tristop, Nenu, Dog playing Tetris, and Wallband. So watch out for that. But now we've got the green bracket. There we are. Game number 1 of the first round of the green bracket in the Masters event between Pixel and DMJ in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. See what I did there? I waited for Andy to start so it could be timed almost perfectly. That is what you call grade A deception. DMJ with a bit of a rough start here could really use another L, really. Lombard does work. Fills in the J dependency. Has to get something over to the left, fills it in with a Lombard. Andy with 2 Tetrises and only 1 burnt line. DMJ looking for his first Tetris of the match. There it is. Tetris for DMJ, 29,000. Andy at 69,000. There you go. Now you can see Andy's fingers doing its magic. Now DMJ's hands aren't covered up by the CTM logo. Looks wonderful. Currently Andy at 161. DMJ with that Tetris goes up to 121. Andy, nice roof burns. Could really use a J piece at the moment. Gets Tetris ready with that J. Another Tetris for Andy. 187 for Andy. 124 for DMJ. DMJ looking for a 2 wide. L piece is perfect. Gets Tetris ready. 128 for DMJ. 210,000 for Andy. DMJ's board in a little bit of danger. Has a hole right at the top of the left side. Missed rotation there of the L piece. Gets Tetris ready though. Covers up the well as the Lombard comes. Now as the Lombard dependency fills it in. DMJ currently at 184. Andy at 263. Andy with a clean board. Could use a T though. And DMJ about to be Tetris ready. Now just waiting for the Lombard. Tetris for DMJ goes up to 212,000. Andy 311,000. So Andy's still able to maintain this lead, currently at almost 100,000 points. 356 for Andy, 261 for DMJ. Both boards clean. Andy gets another Tetris though. DMJ, swift reply. Andy there gets a Tetris, skims the double well to get Tetris 50 once again. 405 for Andy, 308 for DMJ. Good left sides for both players. DMJ gets a Tetris. Andy with his reply. We are hovering around the 100k lead currently for Andy. Approaching the 100 line mark. DMJ in some real danger at the moment. Gets the long bar all the way to the left. Might be crucial there. Gets a J piece. Now just one single away from getting his well reopened. Gets the Tetris. 391 for DMJ. 524 for Andy. And a misdrop there of the J piece for DMJ. Gets the Tetris to burn the board down. But still a situation that he's going to have to deal with. Especially as the 19 transition is approaching. Nice J piece there for DMJ. Might just have enough time to get this board clean before the 19 transition though. Not sure if that was intentional there with the S piece. Andy meanwhile is cruising. 570 for Andy with 2 more Tetrises available. DMJ at 421. DMJ still in danger. Gets the long bar over and transitions to level 19. Around the middle of the board, so should be able to burn this down, especially with that long bar. So DMJ underway on level 19 at 439,000. Andy Tetrises into level 20 at 627. Crucial J piece there for Andy. Fits in perfectly. Nearly Tetris ready once again. Andy waiting for the long bar now. Could also use a J piece for the left. Gets the J. Still Tetris ready though. Tetris for Andy on level 21 goes up to 667. DMJ with that Tetris. Also on 21 at 546. So we're at around a 150,000 point lead for Andy. Both players are currently doing well though on the post transition. Stringing together Tetrises. Simul Tetris right there. For both players, 601 for DMJ, 726 for Andy. DMJ getting another Tetris, but so does Andy. Both players into level 23. 120,000 point lead in favor of Andy at the moment. DMJ now having to do some burning. Andy meanwhile gets a Tetris. Looking for his skim. He's going to solve it with 3 singles. DMJ nearly clean once again. Perfect double there with a J piece. And a clean board once again for DMJ. Tetris though for Andy. Tetris for DMJ. 672 for DMJ. Andy with the Tetris goes up to 848,000. We are right in the middle of the 2 players' post-transition campaigns. 2 rollers, so this game might only find its conclusion post 29. A nice Vitz adjustment there for DMJ. Gets the Tetris. 766 for DMJ. 920 for Andy. Both players on level 26 now. Still just above a 100,000 point lead for Andy. Both players are clean. Both players are Tetris ready. Tetris for DMJ. Tetris for Andy. Lead doesn't budge. Now the board getting a little bit awkward now for DMJ. Gonna have to find some smart burns. That was very nicely handled there for DMJ. Gets Tetris 31 once again. Gets the Tetris. 871 for DMJ. 998 for Andy. DMJ up to 900,000. Into level 28. Andy up to 1 million into 28. Ooh, but Andy doesn't get the tuck in. That's going to cost him some burns here right before the transition. It's going to handle it nicely, though. So A08 there for Andy. Tetris's into level 29 at A45. DMJ currently at 947. Probably looking for a dirty Tetris here, and then some miracle on the post-transition gets it in. DMJ is actually Tetris ready. 988 for DMJ, waiting for the bar, but the bar is not showing up, and DMJ is going to be done at 988. And Andy seems to be surviving well beyond 29 anyways, but either way, he has taken game number 1. First game decided by Andy. Playing a very solid game up until 29. Which ended up being the decider. Didn't even need a stellar campaign beyond 29. Fortunate ending there for DMJ. Actually did well to reopen that well. But it wasn't to be. Both players are ready for game number 2. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Texas. Yeah, maybe it wasn't as smooth, but tried my best. Howdy, partner. Andy, first Tetris of the game. DMJ, 2 burns. Clean board. Lombard comes just as he covers it up. So DMJ still on the search for his first Tetris of the game, and the search has concluded. 30,000 for DMJ, 71,000 for Andy. $142,000 for Andy, 66,000 for DMJ. $114,000 for DMJ, 170 for Andy. Both players are clean. Very high left side here for Andy. Tetris ready, gets the Lombard for the Tetris. And another Tetris there for Andy. He's actually set up for a third one in quick succession, but the Lombard being a little bit shy, but coming out eventually. 264 for Andy, 211,000 for DMJ. And he's probably hoping for a J piece at the moment. He's going to solve it with an L instead. DMJ with a dirty Tetris. Couple of burns away from getting his board clean. Some unfavorable pieces there for DMJ. Could use an L piece, but the L's not showing up. And just as the L comes, oh! That might be crucial. DMJ with some crucial misdrops up top, and that's going to be the end of him. 264 top out for DMJ, and Pixel Andy at 341, taking game number 2. Became a very awkward situation there for DMJ. Was still in control of it up until those misdrops. And that unraveled his campaign in game number 2. Both players are ready for game number 3. Let's count it down. Game number 3 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Oh. Oh. You know what? DMJ looking for his first Tetris. Currently at 9,000 points. Andy with 2 Tetrises already. 50,000 for Andy. Andy currently with an early 100,000 point lead at 145. DMJ with a misdrop of the T-piece. Otherwise has a very clean board. Let's see what kind of a solution he's going to go for here. Ooh. I think he may have tried to spin that J-piece. I'm actually not sure if that's even possible. But currently awaiting... Well, now it's a couple of L pieces, really. J does help. There's an L piece. And it's just going to settle for having to build that hole, and that's not going to be accessible until he burns through that entire square tower on the left side. So might have to settle with trying to gamble for some dirty Tetrises to stay somewhat in the race, as Andy has built up this lead. DMJ gets a dirty Tetris though. 124 for DMJ, 221 for Andy. DMJ ending up with a lot more dependency over towards the left side. Is actually turning into a dirty Tetris well. Takes a double there. Now waiting for this Lombard, taking its time. There it is, Lombard for DMJ. Although, once again has a Lombard dependency, but that's going to be filled in. And now, with the clean right well set up, DMJ at 158 gets a Tetris, goes up to 181. Andy just got a dirty Tetris to burn the board down at 295. So over a 100,000 point lead here for Andy. Andy hoping for a J piece. Alright, play this game out. DMJ hoping for a long bar. Alright, currently DMJ at 270,000, Andy at 449. So Tetris there for DMJ goes up to 341. Andy, in a little bit of a dig, has a column 4 Tetris setup. Gonna take some burns. Still Tetris ready, gets a Tetris 487 for Andy. DMJ with a troublesome left side as he's about to transition. Though gets the well reopened just in time. So he's still on level 18, but is going to transition to level 19. Immediate 19. Tetris goes up to 393. Andy also on level 19 at 493. So 100k lead being taken into the post-transition by our reigning champion. Oh my god, what Vitz adjustment there from DMJ. That was very nifty. Takes a nice double there with the SPs. DMJ Tetris ready, gets the Tetris, goes up to 497, has cut down on this lead. Andy currently at 553. But Andy is clean, and Tetris ready gets the Tetris 580 for Andy. Ooh, misflip there for Andy. Let's see what kind of a solution he comes up with. Nice roof burn right there. Now the next couple of pieces need to be accommodating. He can burn out of this relatively quickly. Doing so very nicely. Well reopened now for Andy. There's the Tetris for Andy. Goes up to 615,000. DMJ with some crucial misdrops just as he was recovering in score. But that left side looks completely inaccessible even for a roller. And DMJ is done at 558. And Andy at 617 is going to be taking game number 3 and the set over DMJ. So there we have it. Congratulations to Andy. Moving on to the second round. Commiserations DMJ. Definitely a player on the rise. But for today, it is our reigning 2-time, overall 3-time Masters winner. Moving on to the second round, continuing his campaign for a three-peat. It is awaiting the winner of Sidnev and Eric, which will be coming to you next.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.